Hi there, I'm Rex King. Welcome back to another episode of From the Archive. Today we're talking about The Mitchells versus the Machines. So this film actually started out in a very interesting way. You see, back in 2015, when Mike Rianda was finishing up with Gravity Falls and was leaving Disney, Sony approached him about him maybe pitching them some film ideas. So on his way back home, he started thinking of several different ideas. The idea he ended up settling upon was combining his childhood experiences with his family with his love of robots. And thus, Mitchells vs. the Machines was born. Weirdly enough, though, that wasn't the film's first title. Its first title that he had come up with was Control Alt Escape. And the studio actually decided to change the title to Connected for a long time before finally settling on The Mitchells vs. the Machines. In 2018, Jeff Rowe, a partner of Rihanda's on Gravity Falls, joined the production as co-director and co-writer. The film was set for a 2020 release. Then COVID happened, and the film was indefinitely pushed off all the way till 2021, when the film had its distribution rights purchased by Netflix and relegated straight to streaming. Yeah, I don't love when this happens to movies because it's really hard to tell if the film is successful or not, because the way numbers are reported on streaming services are a lot different than the way numbers are reported on box office numbers. That being said, Netflix did say this film was its most watched animated feature back in 2021, and critics absolutely loved it. It actually got nominated for Best Animated Feature, but lost out to Encanto. So, is The Mitchells vs. the Machines really a great movie, or should have been forgotten about altogether? Well, let's talk about it. So, The Mitchells vs. the Machines follows Katie Mitchell, played by Abby Jacobson, and she's a girl about to go off into film school. She has a very dysfunctional family, including her brother, played by Mike Rianda, her mother, voiced by Maya Rudolph, and her father, voiced by Danny McBride. They're all very different people and have very different likes. Like I said, Katie's really into film and has a lot of quirky personalities and has a really different way of interpreting the world using a lot of technology. Her younger brother's obsessed with dinosaurs, her mother just wants the family to look like a functional one, and her father is obsessed with the outdoors and thus doesn't really understand technology as much as the rest of his family does. And this is the main contention of the film, as he really doesn't understand Katie's obsession with film, and thus, when it results in a huge argument, he realizes that this might be his last chance to really repair things with his daughter. So he cancels her flight to college, and he decides to take her and the rest of the family on a road trip to drop her off at college, so they might have one last time together as a family. Then a robot apocalypse happens, and they become the last members of humanity, and it's up to them to save the world. Yeah, I know that escalated quickly. So this film is really weird and quirky, and I absolutely love it. The family dynamic here is absolutely perfect. If this film was just this dysfunctional family going on a road trip and them just trying to like build upon their relationships and fix what their relationships have become, this film would have been fantastic. But the added element of the robot apocalypse doesn't take away from any of that. In fact, it elevates a lot of that drama to its absolute peak, and you get to really see this family truly come together throughout the film through that robot apocalypse. It also lends itself to some wonderful social commentary, not just about family dynamics, but also about big tech companies and our over reliance on technology. It's not saying that technology is bad by any definition of the word. It's just saying that the way we use technology isn't the best way all the times, and our reliance on it can be a hindrance at times. And this is kind of shown through the relationship of Katie and Rick, Katie's father, as they, like I said, these had to have completely different views on technology. Katie being much more accepting of it and viewing the world through a technological lens. Rick being much more outdoors. We got to do physical work. We don't. Technology is kind of not important. These are two completely different viewpoints, and the film doesn't say either viewpoint is wrong. It's saying that they're um, both kind of not listening to each other, not realizing that both sides are right in their own way. And I really enjoy that about the film. The characters are a lot of fun. All the like I said, the family dynamic is really what makes this film work. The comedy and the emotional scenes really hit hard. We have a couple like robots that appear in the movie that add more comedy to the film and are mainly the source of a lot of the social commentary. Our villain's not much to talk about, which is kind of upsetting with a bunch of big personalities as far as characters go. But she's relatively fine. She's an AI that's just kind of gone rogue and believes that humanity is pointless. And it really isn't as cool of a villain as we really needed for a film like this. Um, the performances are really well done. Now, this is a star-studded cast, and it would have been very easy for them to get stars that we would have heard instead of the actual characters. But luckily, they got the right actors for the right roles. Abby Jacobson and Danny McBride are both fantastic as their respective characters. Maya Rudolph is always a fantastic treat in a film like this. And Mike Rianda also does a brilliant job at voicing Aaron, a young kid, though we have kind of come into the phase where we want kids to voice kids, but here it's perfectly fine, honestly. And I honestly forgot it was a full grown adult voicing this character for most of the film. The performers do an amazing job at not at disappearing into the characters here, so you only hear the characters and not the actors. Um, the visual style now. This film's similar to another Sony animated picture, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, in the sense that it's very stylized in how it mixes different animation styles. Whenever we're seeing something from Katie's point of view, which a lot of the film is from her point of view, there's always some like weird incorporation of 2D to really show how she sees things as a creative filmmaker. And I really enjoyed that little touch. It added a nice little flair. The rest of the animation is really well done as well, and the combination of the CG animation and the 2D animation is really brilliant here, and I cannot stress how well this film was made. The music, the composer is Mark Mothersbaugh. I apologize, Mothersbaugh, bro. I really don't know how to pronounce that last name. I apologize. Um, and he does a fantastic job. There's a lot of synthesized music here, and I'm not a huge fan of synthesizers in general, but this film does them pretty fine, I would say. It can get repetitive at times, but there are a lot of like moments, especially towards the end, where the synthesized riffs are just absolutely beautiful, well timed, and just like energize the audience. This film is quirky and fun as all hell. Like I really enjoyed this film, and I really was surprised when it came out. I did not expect this movie to be as good as it was when I first saw the trailer, and then when I first watched it on Netflix, it was a huge surprise. I was laughing on the floor. I cannot stress how good this movie is. Now, is this film a buy, stream, or avoid altogether? Well, it's a fantastic movie and a must watch. So, on that basis alone, it's already a buy. But let's talk about the special features. The special features on this film have a making of, a commentary, an extended version of the movie that incorporates some deleted scenes, and a couple of weird how to videos on how to make certain things. which are kind of cool. And then we also have the short Dog Cop Chapter 7, which is fun as well. I mean, this film has a lot going for it already. The special features just add to it. So I definitely say this film is a buy. It's a worthy addition to anyone's collection. And that's what I thought about The Mitchells versus the Machines. If you've seen it, what do you think about it? Let me know in the comments below. And next time, we go back to John Huston by looking at Beat the Devil. See you then.